Today is January 23rd, 2024. This is the Borough of Oakland Council meeting. Meeting called to order. Would the clerk please read the...
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. The meeting will adjourn no later than 10 p.m. unless the majority of the council members that are present vote to extend the time.
I'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Councilman Pignatelli, please guide us through the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing for a quick moment of silence. Be seated. All right, next order of business, we have Jody Graffredo. She's going to be sworn in as our new councilwoman, and I think if we can ask Jody to stand up, and we're going to swear her in with her family members. Wow, you gonna hold the Bible? All right, I want you guys face this way, okay? Is it heavy? You got it? So let's help you out a little bit. There you go. Why don't you guys hold?
Jonathan, turn around.
Yeah, turn around. There you go. Want to hold, put your hand in? Yeah. Why don't you come right over here? All right, Jody, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Raise your right hand. I, Jody Graffredo,
I, Jody Gaffredo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and the governments established in the United States
and in the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully
impartially,
and partially
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
and perform all the duties
of the office of councilwoman
of the office of councilwoman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Welcome, Jody. Welcome, Jody, and do you have a few words you want to share?
I do. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. It is such an honor to be here in front of you all, having the ability and opportunity to take on this position as councilwoman. First and foremost, I would like to thank God, and I would like to thank my husband, John, as well as my two beautiful daughters, Madison and Karamia. They are my motivation and have inspired me to pursue helping as many people as I can. I'd also like to thank my friends and family, both here tonight and watching at home, especially my father and my aunt and uncle. They've always been incredibly supportive of me, and I'm honored they continue to be as I take this next step in my life. Thank you to Mayor Kamala and the council for trusting me to take on this responsibility for the year. And thank you to the Mayor Schwager for her past 12 years of service to the town. Finally, I would like to thank the borough employees, the first responders of the borough, and all the other volunteers in the borough for their public service. It is incredibly important to me that we continue to support Oakland and its growth as a town to benefit each and every family. I also look forward to serving on the Communications Commission, the Shade Tree Commission, and the Access for All Committee as a council liaison. I promise that I will always put people with disabilities and special needs before politics. Thank you again for this opportunity, and let's get to work.
Thank you, Councilwoman Graffredo. Please call the roll, please.
Mayor Kamala,
Present?
Council President Saliani,
Present.
Councilwoman Gofredo,
Here, present.
Councilman McCann,
Here.
Councilman Pignatelli,
Here.
Councilman Slasinski,
Here.
Councilman Talamini.
Here.
All right, I'm going to go through the mayor's report real quickly here. Obviously, as I, 2 meetings ago, we had a couple milestones that we really want to meet. First for the people in the reserve. We are looking to have a town hall meeting at the end of February to really set up the expectations for the new bridge, timelines and everything else that goes along with it. And we're really here to have a really good open line of communication. As I've stated in the past, all official communication from the borough will go through our borough administrator to the chairman of the reserve board and vice versa. So there's only one voice, one message going forward. I asked the rest of the council for all concerns to put it right through the borough administrator. Also at the reserve, I've been up there a couple times, received a couple emails from people. We are aware of the condition of the Glen Gray Road, so we are going to be making improvements once the weather gets warmer to both entrances coming in and out of the reserve. Since you're going to be, basically we have to deal with 24 months of building, bridge construction, so we want to make it easier for all the residents to get in and out. The water treatment is still on track for the end of February. The borough professionals and our contractors are really coming in right under the wire. We're doing really good on that. Also for the sewer startup and testing, we expect to be sending flow in early February to the BCOA, so that you're going to see that testing starting. And also for the people who live up on Lakeside, we expect to see the worksite demobilization taking place in the spring, and that entire property up by the lake will be restored back to actually better condition than we got there. So that's good news. So stay tuned and be patient. And then the road will be paved after that. And also for the people who live down on Lakeview Terrace in Jerome, we're going to be starting a stormwater sewer project down there, probably mid to late February. So just be on the lookout for that. That concludes my mayor's report. Now we have a very interesting presentation. We have a wrestler in our midst, and let me come up front and we'll introduce you to her. I would like to ask Quinn Cancini of Oakland to come forward. She weighs in at 52 pounds. She's 6 years old. Quinn won the hardest wrestling tournament in the country in Tulsa. It's the Tulsa National Championship. She is 6 years old, 52 pounds, is a student at Heights Elementary School. You want to show everybody your trophy? Oh, wow. Wow. Why don't you hold that up and show them? You can put that back up there. So, on behalf of the Borough of Oakland, Bergen County, New Jersey, this is a certificate of achievement for Quinn Cassini for the Tulsa National Championship Wrestling Champion. The Mayor and Council of the Borough of Oakland congratulate you on your winning the Tulsa National Wrestling Tournament. The Mayor and Council of the Borough of Oakland send their congratulations to you, signed Mayor Kamal. And we've also included a nice commemorative coin in here for you as well as a keepsake, okay?
Congratulations. Eric, someone's got their hand up.
What's that?
Good. Right there. Oh, turn around. No, turn around. Someone has their hand up.
Oh. Put that down. You want to grab the trophy? Sure.
Wow. Congratulations.
All right, make a motion to open to public.
So moved. Second.
To a second. Anybody wish to address the council? Hi. we gotta turn that around. Just spin it around. There you go. Yeah.
Ann, can you just push it forward a little bit? That's the speaker right over there.
Right here?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
Is that
perfect.
good?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Ann Cedar, 32 Winding Ridge. Quick question about the bridge. Has the contract been signed, and is that moving forward on that? And I know we're having the meeting
Yes.
in February, but just
Yes.
wanted to note that part. Okay. Okay. And then I wanted to know why the town council hasn't said anything about the swastika that was drawn at Ramapo High School in the bathroom. Wyckoff Town Council issued a statement. I understand it's a Board of Education issue, which they have handled poorly, but this is also a town issue because your residents go to that school and are experiencing an increase in anti-Semitism now. So especially in this climate, everyone needs to be strong and clear in their messaging. So I just want to be clear that anti-Semitism is everyone's problem, and it doesn't take much to issue a statement condemning it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Want a motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approval of minutes, January 7th, 2024. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second? Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofreda? Oh, abstain. Abstain. Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Were you here? That was the oath day.
Oh, abstain, no, sorry,
No,
I'm
yeah,
abstaining,
abstain, right?
apologize.
Yeah, so it's okay. Councilman Slisinski?
Yes.
And Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Approval of minutes, executive session, January 12th, 2024. Motion to approve. If there's any change, it has to be done in executive session. Do we have a
So
motion?
moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
You abstain.
Oh, abstain, I'm sorry.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Slisinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Approval of minutes, January 12th, 2024. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay. Councilman Gofredo?
Abstain?
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Slisinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we have a special presentation from Community Solar, and I'd like to welcome John Renz up to the podium and walk us through the Community Solar program.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Rafael Lano. I'm an attorney with the law firm Archer & Kleiner. I'm here with my clients Equals Energy LLC, Oakland 12 Solar LLC, and Oakland 16 Solar LLC. On behalf of my clients, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present on the Oakland 12 and Oakland 16 solar projects. And with that, I will leave you in the hands of the capable experts, John Renz and Stephen Volker. Thank you.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Administration. I'm Steve Volker, V as in Victor, O-L-K-E-R-T for the record. As I'm Director of Solar Development for Equals Energy, and with me is President John Renz, R-E-N-Z. As a longtime elected official in a small South Jersey borough, we truly appreciate you taking the time to hear us in this. I've been on the other side, and congrats. I've been sworn in enough times, and I still feel that joy, that exuberance of being in. And congratulations and good luck. I'm only 29, that's why I got this hair. 10 years on council. But Equals Energy is, and I'm sure it was in your packets.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll brush over that. Is that the Community Solar Program, which is in its third year as part of the Community Solar Energy Program, that we had applied through to the BPU. various projects throughout the state. And in that application included our plans, our preliminary schematic plans, and as far as other things in the application. And what the community solar program does, energy program does, is it affords folks that are not able to have solar energy, whether it's the cost or the benefits, to reap the benefits of solar energy, whether it be their home is too shaded, the cost, all those things, not in the right direction. If you have you need southern facing, physics, junior high physics about when it comes to that. So what this program does is a reduction in a credit to the citizens of this immediate area, whether it's for the low and moderate income, and that can include veterans, folks on disability as well. That they get a discount or a credit to their electric bill. So what we do is we're, as developers, we look for brownfields, landfills, historic fills, and in this case, we identified throughout the state, looked at every warehouse in the state of New Jersey. It's not exciting. Is that we have two projects in the borough at 12 and 16 Wright Way, and these rooftops meet the criteria for what we anticipate on doing. We're not asking for an approval. That all comes, of course, with the UCC trade applications, with those permitting. But part of the application was and if you need to have a question, please raise your hand. But I'm just kind of summarizing what you had already read. That brings us to here. There's a letter of recommendation, or a letter of support or acknowledgement of this rooftop solar panels on these two locations. Hopefully there'll be more, as part of the approval package. And in mid-November, we had a 2-week window to put these applications in, and then we started getting feedback. And some were accepted, some ran out of capacity. Other power companies, their regions were tapped out, capped, filled up. We have some room here in the RICO territory that we were rejected because we didn't have, and I understand it came November at the end of the year,
Yeah.
and you have
League of Municipalities.
League of Municipalities, an election, and then leading up towards reorganization a few weeks ago. So we hadn't received that letter. Like I said, I understand what the timing wasn't the best. That's why we're glad to present this in front of you. That we need we got a rejection based on not having that letter of support.
It's a letter, it really translates into a letter of support or a letter of acknowledgement that we came before the board, or we've approached the town, the borough, that your support of our letter, draft letter, is that you support community solar and you support the energy master plan. It's not really that it's not that you support the project. There's still a lot of requirements we have to meet, the uniform construction codes and all the others.
It's ironic you should say that. I see members of our green team over here, and they have been working on community solar, exploring the options for a better part of a year, 2 years. And I believe one of the biggest hurdles was the fact that there wasn't a real solar plant here in Oakland. Orange and Rockland really wasn't coming up to speed with the program. So it's just, your timing is, I think, perfect when it comes to what the green team has been doing.
Sure.
You guys getting involved with this.
As mentioned, this is year 3, or really the permanent year. The permanent program was initiated in the end of August of 2023. So it's had a couple of years to work out the kinks and that sort of stuff.
You locally call it Orange and Rockland, but the state calls it Rockland Electric.
Rockland Electric.
Yeah.
Right.
So your portion is very small. In pilot year 1 and 2, it was only 75 megawatts. So I believe that was 1 megawatt was yours. So it's only 4%, 5% of the entire state. So it's a very small area. There's not a lot of land. Thank God, there's not a lot of landfills and contaminated properties up here. There's only very few places to put it.
So you're asking us for a letter of support?
Yes, sir.
Any questions from the council?
Okay.
Mr. Talmina?
Yeah, sure. So you said this is your first project, you're hoping more every time? Do you have to come and ask for a letter of support, or?
It's different throughout the state in the way municipalities address it, because there's no regulation or there's nothing in the code that says you have to give us a letter of support. So some municipalities would just go in, the clerk literally copies it, puts their letterhead and signs it and sends us, wants to get rid of us.
Right.
Because PSE and GE territory is most of the state, and they're getting bombarded with, there's a line out the door, people looking for a letter of support, and they say, all right, uncle, we're gonna give you the letter of support. So it's different. Some municipalities ask us to come every time. So we would be happy to come here every time and show you our projects and ask for a letter of support.
So how do we get this out to the public, that who would be eligible? I mean, do you,
It,
That's our green team.
Me, green team, group.
Sure, yeah, we would work with green teams and Sustainable Jersey organizations, but it is already set, the percentage of where it goes to and how much, based on the amount that we're going to put back into the grid. It's a virtual credit, that it's done. Like I said, this isn't being hooked up to someone else's house. It's going to go.
These two projects total almost a megawatt, so generally speaking, that somewhere between 150 to 200 homes that could be serviced.
I was just gonna ask that question. Yeah.
So, and then the state requires us to do 51% low and moderate income residents, which doesn't mean the typical, the COA definition. It means that people that have 80% of the median income in the metropolitan area could mean somebody on Social Security. It's a real, liberal interpretation of what that word
You're
is.
required to have 50, you said?
51%. yes.
Oh, 51%.
So it's senior citizens, so it's equitable distributed. They want us to not go to the largest houses in the state,
Okay,
buy
right,
houses
sure.
to sign up. So
Sure.
it's met this spread out for everyone. So this would serve potentially 150 to 200, somewhere in that range. And we've indicated in our applications to the BPU that we would offer residents a 25% discount to the bill credit. Bill credit is, make everything more confusing. Bill credit is not the taxes, not the regional greenhouse gas initiative, it's not the societal benefits charges, it's just the power and delivery element of your electric bill. So it would still be a decent discount to people. And that's for 20 years. Once they sign up, they're automatically getting it for 20 years.
Oh, so it does require them to sign up for it?
Yes, they subscribe. So we're also a solar subscription organization, our company, Community Solar Circle is the name of that company. We do subscribe customers. We're not sure we're going to do it here because we're geographically next to Philadelphia, 120 miles south. So we're not sure we're going to do it, but it's only 100 and some customers, so you may do it.
I have a question.
Ms. Grafito?
So low to moderate income families, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're already receiving utility assistance.
Mhm.
So are you knocking them off of that utility assistance?
No, actually, they would automatically qualify for the as low and moderate if they're getting LIHEAP or some of the other.
Or USF?
Or, yes.
Or Fresh Start.
Any of the programs that are on, or if they're getting the housing or the food allowances and things like that, they automatically qualify as low and moderate income. But that definition of low and moderate income is really broad. It could mean literally someone that's on Social Security, which would, by definition, make almost 80% of the median income of the geographical area. So it's a broad spectrum, what is defined as low and moderate income.
Are you using the same qualifications that LIHEAP and USF uses for Illinois?
The state and the federal government, HUD came out with a ruling that said won't affect their rent calculation because it's based on their rent. Their rent is based on their other bills. So in the HUD, they ignore it. So that there is mechanisms for anybody that signed up that's on any kind of public assistance. They automatically qualify.
And is there a way, just one other question,
Sure.
Is there a way, if we were to do this, is there a way that we could prioritize veterans, service-connected veterans,
We're not to the point where we can subscribe to anybody, because we have to get we're that's a couple steps away.
Okay,
So we'd have to get an award, we would have to get an award from the BPU, because the BPU looks at all of our requirements, our technical information, our plans and everything else. And they've done that.
For these.
For these two projects.
these projects.
They've done that. The only thing that they said that we're lacking is that letter of support, and then if we get an award, we'll have to go through all the engineering and everything else, and then we'll be ready to.
so that would be another discussion.
Well, we're open to doing that, certainly. We want to keep it in the community. In the first couple of years, it was mandated that we keep it in the actual community that it's in now. But now, they relax that because they want it throughout the territory. It hems us in too much if we have to. But we'll look to serve
To
everybody.
clarify, it's first come, first served, but it is reserved for the low and moderate.
51%.
51% of it is.
Correct.
So people who are not low and moderate can apply too.
Yes.
Once that 49 is used up, it has to be someone low and moderate. But if you wait 2 months and it's filled up, you lose. You know, it's a first come, first served of the low and moderate income to get that 51%.
We'll
You can't
look.
hold, okay. you
No,
know,
I get it.
Vets, you got it, you know, we can't hold that just for vets or
Okay.
something like that. They have to apply.
Yeah. I'm a veteran myself, so
I
I
was-
would serve the veterans.
I was thinking of a way that we can entice, our first responders, more volunteers in the town by
Absolutely.
giving them the priority to sign up.
We would love to do that, yes, absolutely.
If you were to get approval, what's the timeframe from approval to potentially?
The state actually gives us 1 year to have the system operational, which is pretty aggressive, so we can't let grass grow on our feet.
Where are the solar panels made?
The ones we're specifying are Japanese made. We do pick ones off of the Bloomberg Tier 1 level, so they're the best of the panels that are recommended.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
There's not many made in America.
Well, thank God I'm made in China.
Sure, yeah.
Well, China, Korea, a lot of them in Asia. Yeah.
As you had mentioned earlier about about the timeline, what was in our report was mentioned that there's not much, there's a lot of power reserved within the program for this territory. So,
There's not a lot, yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of applications, but so we'll say the pot is bigger, okay? And so that the deadline for that, what I mentioned, that mid-October to end October of November, excuse me, that deadline has been extended for the RICO territory because so we can still get this in under the previous one, the one that just ended a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
So-
as soon as the ink's dry, I was presuming we would get a letter of support. As soon as the ink's dry, we'll resubmit electronically. It's a portal that we submit everything. And everything's been pretty much reviewed and approved by RICO and the state.
Anybody else? Anybody else down here? Not seeing any?
Yeah, and the landowner, the other win here is the landowner gets a rent check, which is really good for your businesses too.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody? Okay. I guess we'll be getting your letter of support. The
Nice.
only thing I ask is if you just reach out to the members of our green team.
Absolutely.
Leave them with a card.
Yeah.
I know they've been very actively involved in this, and I think it'd be great to have that hook to answer.
Absolutely.
I'd love to meet with them.
I have one more, I'm sorry,
One more? Sure.
before we close on that.
Good. Mr. Picasso?
You're on the fire department. Isn't there a local ordinance about spacing of it and access so that in case there's a roof fire?
Yes. Yeah, there was, Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, but it came from the planning board as a whole, but it meets UCC building code, right, and electrical code, Rich?
Yeah, that was a while ago, that we've had that on the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of that since may have been superseded by code changes.
Well, Vinnie's here.
But, the code enforcement staff is aware of that and aware of the current regulations.
Yeah, in our design, we keep an alley all the way around that we have inter row spacing. So this is actually a metal building, which makes it perfect, and this is a membrane roof.
Excuse me, Vinnie, have you seen this?
I have not, no.
Vinnie's our fire chief.
Okay.
How are you? I will look at the packet, I'll talk to Rich.
I want to make sure it's safe for the firemen.
Oh, sure, yeah, like I said, we still, once we get the thumbs up from the BPU, you know, we'll.
Do the electrical design.
Electrical design and all that, and we'll come in with the full package that, granted, we'll need building, electrical, and
Fire.
And fire,
Professional.
absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
All right, that's it? Well, I want to thank you,
Thank
Committee
you very
Soul, for
much.
coming, Mr.
Anytime.
Renz, and the presentation.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Your Honor,
Mayor. Thank you,
and
Council.
council.
Drive safe. All right, special announcements. We have authorized raffle license RL 1481 for the Valley Middle School PTO, raffle March 15th, 2024, at Valley Middle School, 71 Oak Street, for resources and tools for the Valley Middle School staff and students. Do you have a motion? Motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to send this over to President Saliani. You have some new council liaisons.
Yes, we're going to update some of the council liaison appointments. For our boards and committees, Pat Pignatelli will be the second to DPW. Jody Gilfredo will be the primary chair on finance with Russ Talmini as second. Land Use Committee, a couple of changes. We haven't had a second on Land Use Committee for a while, but Mayor Kamal informed me this morning that we need to have a second. I will sit in that second chair. And for Water and Sewer, Jody Gilfredo will be the second chair, and Pat Pignatelli will remain the primary chair. And then Councilwoman Gilfredo will also be on Communications Commission, Access for All Committee, and Shade Tree Commission. And Kevin Zielinski will be on the Green Team.
Can I see that?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Council President. Next order of business, appointments for board professionals. We have one new one we'd like to bring forward. For the affordable housing attorney will be Brian Giblin from Giblin and Giano LLC. We need to vote on that?
Yeah, that's what council can say.
Yep, that's
Council,
okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
We got a roll call.
Roll call then?
We have roll call.
Yep.
Hold on. Okay.
We're still new at this.
Council President Saliani,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gofredo,
Yes.
Councilman McCann,
Yes.
Pignatelli,
Yes.
Plasinski,
Yes.
Talamini.
Yes.
All right, next order of business I have is appointments for some more committees for 2024. The first one I'm going to do is a mayor's appointment for the Green Team. We have a Terry Barcalar for a one-year appointment and a Liz Brody for a one-year appointment. For the Arts Committee, this is mayoral appointment with council approval. For the Arts Committee, we have April Mansfield for a yearly appointment and Madhav Dua for a yearly appointment. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. For the Flood Commission, Ms. Kathleen Gibbons has put in her citizenship leadership form for a 3-year term. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
For Environmental Commission, Lee Hayman has put his name in for a 3-year term. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For the Board of Adjustments, I have Kevin Bremer for a 4-year term, Cynthia Waynock for a 4-year term, Cesar Arredondo, alternate 1, and Daniel Lilienthal for alternate 2. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Roll call.
I need a second.
Second.
Who was the move?
Me.
Pat, oh, sorry, thank you.
It's okay.
Councilwoman Gofredo,
Yes.
Councilman McCann,
Yes.
Pignatelli,
Yes.
Council President Saliani,
Yes.
Plasinski,
Yes.
Talamini.
Yes.
And for the OCC, last one, Ben Good will be junior commissioner. He's put his name in. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next, moving on to resolutions. We're going to do a consent agenda 2451 through 2467. We're going to pull 2468 out. I know it's been published on the website. You won't have an opportunity to read it. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo,
Yes.
McCann,
Yes.
Pignatelli.
Yes.
Saliani,
Yes.
Plasinski,
Yes.
Talamini.
Yes.
All right, 2468. Mr. Coons, I'm going to just kind of put this to you. Maybe you can walk us through the award contract for Boswell Engineer for the construction and engineering and inspections for the replacement of the Patriots Way Bridge.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Given the scope of this project and the importance of this project, what we've asked Boswell to do is provide somebody on a full-time basis that has some particular expertise in bridge construction. So the proposal reflects full-time coverage for the duration of the project, as well as additional oversight and administrative support for processing things like RFIs and shop drawings and the like. There's an allowance in there for material testing. And so it's a rather comprehensive set of services beyond what you would normally see for something like a routine road project or something like that, to make sure that we're working closely with the contractor and keeping the project on track. So with that, if you have additional questions regarding technical aspects of this, Kevin's probably in a better position to answer them.
Does anybody have any questions for our borough engineer concerning this contract?
The only thing I would jump in with to what Rich had just said was that the project is set up on a 700-day calendar period, and the significant majority of that project is set up around a 24-month manning of the project. So if the project finishes earlier, then the cost of that resident to be on site is commensurately reduced. So what we've done is we show effectively the construction project engineer just by the hourly basis and projected out over that 24-month period. So as you can imagine, if it goes 6 months earlier than that, and we're hoping it does, it'll be significantly less. The variable here is knowing how long it's going to take to get the utility relocations. That's the difficult to predict thing. There are two moves. There's a temporary move of all of the utilities, and then there's a permanent move of the utilities back into the new bridge. If you had to ask us how long this project will take, we could give you with certainty a very simple answer, except for the involvement of those utility companies. So that's the variable, and that's what it's been built around. So it's a long way of saying we believe it'll be this number or less.
Is there an interruption for the utility when it's moved?
No, the utilities cannot be ceased. There has to be a temporary active utility for all of the, there's water, there's gas, there's electric, there's telephone, there's fiber, and I know I'm missing another one. But it's all of those utilities must remain in service.
Okay.
The variable that really does help the job enormously in cost is the fact that we can close the bridge. If you didn't close the bridge, the cost of this project would be significantly higher than what the overall contract is.
I know there's usually a delay with the power company. I guess it's Origin Rockland.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure we notify them way in advance that what's going to happen, when it's going to happen.
We notified them 2 years ago. And we notified them again a year ago, we notified them again 6 months ago. So it's a constant process.
Because I know many times they're the ones that hold up a project.
Well, O&R and public service are the big variables. Verizon can sometimes, there was a story about on Route 17, down by Farview Avenue, there was a telephone pole out in the middle of Route 17 for a year because Verizon wouldn't move the pole until somebody hit the pole, and then it was moved the next day.
Oh, my God.
So, it's a variable that we try to do whatever we can to control it. We bring it to your attention. It's a variable that we can't control.
No, I haven't.
What we did do is we protected the borough against a delay claim from the contractor in the event that these delays push the project out as long as we said. Then you're covered because the contractor can say, I can do it in a year, when the delays in the utilities push it out to 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're covered against that additional
Okay,
cost.
good, thank you.
One other thing to point out is their fee is going to be covered under the DOT grants that we have as well. It's eligible as part of that.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, I'm going to just read the resolution out loud. This is Resolution 24-68, titled to award contract Boswell Engineering for construction engineering and inspection service for replacement of Patriots Way Bridge. Whereas there is a need for construction engineering and inspection service for the replacement of Patriots Way Bridge, and whereas Boswell Engineering has submitted a proposal dated January 18th, 2024 for services required at a total not to exceed $1,150,000, and whereas the Chief Financial Officer has certified funds are available in account C0456811021 in the amount of $928,000, in account C456810-201, and in the amount of $220,000, and whereas the award of the contract is for professional services which no public bidding is required, now therefore it is resolved, the Mayor and Borough Council in Bergen County, State of New Jersey, hereby authorizes Boswell Engineering to perform the construction, engineering, and inspection services for the replacement of the Patriots Way Bridge at a cost not to exceed $1,150,000. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Slasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
And while I have the borough engineer here, as I have stated at my, I guess, the state of the town address, now that we've moved this along, you'll be having your pre-con meetings, and you feel comfortable that we'll have the town-wide meeting at the end of February?
Yes, we're scheduling the pre-con meeting now, and we're at the pre-con meeting, we've already asked the contractor to prepare a schedule, a project schedule, and that will be the basis of us presenting what the contract schedule is going to be. So we're confident we'll have that in time for the end of February, and we'll make that presentation.
And you'll have the shop drawings there?
Shop drawings may not be there at that time. It depends on how quickly they're submitted by the contractor.
There's no rendering?
Of the bridge?
Yeah.
We can make a rendering of the bridge. So we know, we designed the bridge, so we can get a rendering put together of the bridge.
For that meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
Yeah. It's gonna look very similar to what's there.
Correct.
We're replacing the superstructure on the existing abutment.
Correct.
So it's the same type of bridge because it uses we're reusing the abutments. So it'll look very similar, but we'll get a rendering.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, moving right along. Ordinances, we had 2 ordinances on the agenda, unfortunately, because our meeting was canceled 2 weeks ago, and we had to move it to a Friday. There was not enough time to notice it, so we will be carrying that till the February 13th meeting. Work session, we have 4 items. Amend planning contract for affordable housing. Mr. Coons, would you like to walk us through that?
Sure, Mayor, if I could, if
Yeah.
the council would indulge, perhaps we can take the last item first since
Okay,
our IT
capital order,
coordinator
that's
is
fine.
here.
Yep.
Okay, so capital ordinance for IT projects. As you know, normally you see these sorts of things as part of the budget process, kind of in the spring at the tail end of budget adoption, we go through all the capital work. In this case, because of a 15% pending price increase, we thought it in everyone's best interest to get this before you now to seek the funding for the project so we can avoid that increase that's coming down the road. So the capital ordinance would really focus on two items. One is an upgrade to the police department computer network, which is reaching 5 years old. And well, Vinny and I talk about this often. You know, to me, that's brand new. In the world of computers, that's reaching the end of its lifespan because these things run 24/7, and licensing is running out as well. In addition, the world of cybersecurity moves so quickly that the hardware itself tends to present vulnerabilities over time that are harder and harder to keep protected. So this project, as envisioned, would include new data and application servers with new thin client machines to interact in a virtualized environment as opposed to regular PCs. And it would replace all of that. It would also include a brand new firewall, licensing for the network hardware, Windows 10 and Office 365. One of the nice things about these network servers is they include something called encryption at rest, which is a security feature that's needed for CJIS compliance. CJIS is an organization that sets standards for cybersecurity in the realm of law enforcement. Mr. Dyes could talk to you till your eyes glaze over probably about what those are, but it is very important. The total cost of that, before the 15% price increase that's coming down the pike, is about $300,000, and that's all quoted out based on state contract pricing from most of the products are from Dell. The second part of the request would enable us to complete the fiber ring project. This would take it from Borough Hall to DPW, down Oak Street, and into the rec complex, where it'll connect to the DPW building and grounds building, to the Delia building, provide access points for the potential installation of cameras in the future at the rec complex.
Sorry. Sorry about it.
That's okay. It's probably more interesting than what I'm talking about. All right. From there, it's going to run up to the senior center, over to the police department, to the library, and back to Borough Hall. This will provide redundancy for us, and it's going to save us on operating costs because we're reducing a number of internet connections that we're currently paying for at individual facilities. All right, and it also sort of future-proofs our data needs. It's a large pipe. It's going to be able to handle a lot of data. All right, so all of the underground conduit work has been completed. And the fiber optic cable itself has been purchased, and we've secured approval from the utilities to run the line. So what we need funding for now is the actual work to run all of that, as well as to install a total of 5 different switches to connect them into the various buildings. That's also mostly state contract pricing, is $140,000. Okay. So the total capital ordinance would be $440,000. We're not proposing incurring any debt for this. It will require us to amend a couple of existing capital ordinances, and talking with the CFO today, we can do that concurrently starting at the next meeting so that everything can get wrapped up by the end of February. And that's it. So if anybody has any questions on any of the technical aspects of this, I refer you to Mr. Dyes.
Does anybody have any questions? This side of the dais? All right, Mr. Coons, thank you. I guess you'll have some ready for next meeting?
We will have capital, so you'll probably see actually a couple of capital ordinances, ones that will be amended, as well as this one going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Coons. Thank you, Mr. Dyes, for attending today. All right, let's go back to the top. Planning contract for affordable housing.
Okay. We hope 2024 will be the year where we finally get our compliance hearing and get the current litigation wrapped up. Of course, there's more on the horizon, and the state remains active in terms of considering legislation that would once again change the affordable housing landscape. But the current effort has been ongoing in one way or another since 2015, and we've engaged our planners, Burgess Associates, along the way to provide assistance as needed to the attorneys with compliance reports, assessments, attending hearings, attending meetings, and redoing our fair share plan and housing element. So as that work has progressed and kept on going, the contract needs to be amended to sort of keep pace with that. So this is a contract amendment for $30,000 that should get us to the finish line based on what the planner knows of the existing work remaining. And funding would be from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
Anybody have any questions for the Borough Administrator concerning this item? Nope. All right, going to next item, Design Engineering 2024 Road Program.
Okay. You know what, maybe I'll just take the next two together.
Go ahead.
If that's okay,
Yep.
they're both engineering related items.
It's just so everybody knows, the third one is Design Engineering for the Lenape Lane Bridge.
Yep. So the first one, 2024 road program. We intend this year to undertake our program, or the main part of our program, in the spring. And so we need to get going on the design work for that to be able to get that out to bid on time. So this contract would be for design, and at the same time, just to save a step down the road, we would also authorize the construction inspection that would come with that. We're looking at approximately a program of about 1.45 million this year, which is rather robust. And all of the roads are still being selected, but there are some that we know will be included. And that includes all of the roads, with the exception of Yawpa, which is a separate project coming later, that were disturbed by the sewer project, will be repaved. So that's everything from Franklin Ave on Lakeside Boulevard, up Ramapo Hills Boulevard, Monhegan, Hiawatha, that whole stretch, as well as East Oak Street. And then there'll be other roads that we're finalizing now that would be included in that. Okay. So this again would cover design and construction inspection.
So we hope to have the program started around when?
Sometime this spring.
Yeah, but Rich, isn't the goal to do this now so we can pave during when school's not in session, so we accept the contractors correctly?
Well, actually, we'd like to get at least part of it done even before then. You know, the commitment we had made to the residents who have been dealing with this construction for almost 2 years was to repave it as soon as possible. After we came behind the sewer project and did further construction with replacing the water main. And that project's on track and going on right now. So we're looking to get out even before school ends this year. Okay.
Anybody else on the road program? No? Lenape Lane Bridge.
Lenape Lane Bridge. So I know all the focus has been on Patriots Way Bridge, but we own another bridge that also needs some rehabilitation work. Lenape Lane Bridge was built in 1979. And while it does not need a whole deck replacement or a pier-up replacement like Patriots Way Bridge does, there are a certain amount of rehabilitation that's needed to the deck.
Mr. Kuhn, I just want to interrupt you, just to make it perfectly clear, it's not going to happen at the same time. This is after the Patriots Way Bridge is done.
I was going to get to that.
That's the first question I asked.
No, so this is a rehabilitation of the Lenape Lane Bridge. We're looking to start the design work now, so we're in a position to do it upon the conclusion of the Patriots Way Bridge project. Okay, and the question's been asked about whether or not we could use DOT funding if there's any remaining at the conclusion of the Patriots Way project. We don't have an answer to that yet, but we will be having that discussion with the DOT. So best case, this is another capital project that hopefully will not cost our taxpayers money.
But this certainly puts us in a better position, having all the engineering work done, so it's a shovel-ready project, so if we have to go to the state, it makes our case that much stronger, correct, Mr. Coons?
It should.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions on the bridge? Not seeing any? All right, moving right along. Anybody have any new business? Not seeing any. Old business?
So some old business, just, how are we moving along with the sponsorship for the shirts in the rec department? Do we need language? Are we?
You did the resolution this evening.
Okay,
so-
yes, okay.
Just approve it.
Yeah, all right, so I forgot that we moved pretty quickly, all right, but anyway, so thank you for that, and, all right, we'll move forward then, thank you.
Anybody else? Old business, I would just like to have our borough attorney give us an update on what's going on with the dump on West Oakland Ave.
Thank you, Mayor. So at this time, it's going to wind up in the hands of the commissioners. Once the BCUA gives its report, they don't have to act upon it. I've been monitoring their agenda. It has not been on there. If and when it becomes an issue that they take up, we will appear at the meeting, put our objections on the record, which we've already put in the record multiple times to the council, for the Freeholder Board, for the BCUA, and we'll address any appropriate legal action should the county look favorably upon the change to the waste management plan.
And it's
But
just,
at this time, there's nothing for us to do because no action has been taken.
but it's important to point out the fact that your firm is watching this.
Yes,
Looking
I'm
for any issue.
regularly monitoring the agendas of the meetings, And I've been in contact with the attorneys for both boards to make sure that we're notified of any action that's taken.
Okay.
So we still don't know whether or not they'll have to come back to the Board of Adjustment.
Well, it is our position that they will have to,
Right.
whether or not that is a position that will ultimately be taken by the state and the county. I think that's a question that's up in the air at this point.
Thank you.
I want to raise a point on that. A new council person sent over an article regarding Michigan. Do you want to talk about that? You want to bring that instead of me doing it? You want to-
Sure, I mean, Dearborn, Michigan had similar issues, I don't recall, but they came up with a creative solution, a dust ordinance, so trucks going in and out that might not be covered, residents can call in and the trucks would get fined. If they woke up in the morning and there was dust on the cars, the residents could call into the police and the plant would get fined. It's more of a control for the residents to have some say about their neighborhood. I think it's a good move in preparation of, if it happens, that we have that in place.
So I looked into what she sent to me, and Michigan's set up model that is similar from us, where environmental regulations are regulated by the state and the various state agencies. But there are certain parts of the law, Mr. Attorney, that are ambiguous, where it's the position of Dearborn that things that are not covered under state law is the purview of the local community. So it might be something you want to actively take a look at, and something we should prepare to put on the books sooner rather than later, if it makes sense.
I'm happy to discuss that with everyone further and look into that.
Anything else? Anybody else have any old business? All right, I know it's a new year. Does anybody have any liaison reports, or has anybody had any meetings? By show of hands, I'll go right to you.
So,
Yes, Councilor Town.
I just wanted to report that I met with chairman of the rec committee and commission, and we went over a bunch of stuff, and we discussed some issues, and look, I got the things, the uniforms.
Taxpayer dollars at work.
And it was a great meeting with Mike Guadagnino. He does a great job for the rec commission. It was a nice meeting. Thanks, Mike.
Councilor Pignatelli?
No, I don't have anything. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Saliani?
Real quick, DPW asked me to put a couple quick notes out. One, Christmas trees, they'll be collecting Christmas trees Monday through Friday till the end of January, as scheduling allows. Residents are asked to put trees curbside for collection. No scheduling will be necessary. Key distinction, they pick up Christmas trees separate from wreaths, so please put them out separately because the wreaths can cause issues. To date, they've collected 842 discarded trees. They anticipate collecting 1,300.
Wow.
Potholes, recent weather with plowing, there's potholes in the streets. They're asking to report all potholes to 201-337-8103. There you'll get, the spot will be taken. Please be patient. There's several potholes that need to be addressed, but please report potholes so they can be fixed as we go forward. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Councilman McCann?
Yes, as you know, Mayor, the administration committee met with regard to some of the appointments we made tonight. And the Public Safety Committee met with you were present with regard to the IT projects that were proposed tonight. And I want to thank Mr. Vince Dye. He did a great job. We took a look at the proposal to see if there's any potential shared services, and we reached out to the county, as you know, and essentially this project is a have-to for us, and there's really no alternatives at this time as it relates to shared services. And that's it.
Mr. Sislinski?
Thank you, Mayor. From the library, I got a bit since it's the first meeting. The Oakland Public Library will have its first series of yoga with instructor Sonia on Tuesday nights Due to overwhelming response, each individual class must be registered for. As a reminder, all registrations can be made on the website by clicking on the Events tab and then clicking on the individual events. Tech Tuesdays continues. They'll have appointment slots on Tuesdays. People can register to get help with tech issues as well as personal instruction on how to use library resources. This is ongoing. The Anime Club for teens meets once a month, and this Thursday at 6 p.m. They'll have college admission seminar with Dream Seekers Academy about preparing for college admissions. This Thursday at 6 p.m., they'll also have a crafting class with Miss Marisol, Intro to Sewing. Participants will need to bring a sewing machine with them. They also have a drop-in maker space crafting session this Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. No registration is required. Patrons can come in and learn how to use the Cricut craft machine or the new poster printer that they have available for public use. On Monday, January 29th, they'll have the Iceland Land of Ice and Fire program at 6:30. The event is full, however, people can still be added to the waiting list. Preschool story times are back on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. No registration is required. Tots Library Club on Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. No registration required. And Terrific 2s and 3s are back on Fridays at 11. No registration required. They'll also have a special musical programs on Fridays. Next up is Jiggly Wiggly on Friday, February 9th through the 11th. You do need to register for that as well. And lastly, just a reminder that the rooms at the OPL are available to residents and nonprofit organizations in Oakland for free. Need a space for a meeting? Call the library. From the Public Safety Committee, for the month of December, officers conducted 330 motor vehicle stops and issued 410 motor vehicle summonses. Also, officers made one arrest for driving while intoxicated. And from the Oakland Green Team, they have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow night at 10:30 at the Senior Center. So I'll have an update for that at our next meeting. That's it.
Councilwoman Grafredo.
Thank you. The Communications Commission, they met on January 22nd. They reviewed and improved their bylaws. The TV committee spoke about the need for a new video server. The old one is not supported by the manufacturer any longer. They are looking forward to fiber optics, which will hopefully be connected this year to the senior center in anticipation of cameras being approved and installed. The communications committees always need volunteers, especially the newsletter committee. And the Shade Tree Commission will meet on February 5th, and I look forward to meeting with them. And Access for All will meet on February 7th, and I always look forward to them.
Okay, motion to open to public.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to speak? Not seeing anybody. Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who wants to take bills to pay? Mr. Talamini or?
No,
Mr.
it's Ms. Alfredo.
Well, just
What's,
bill to pay the bills?
oh, Bill, oh, I'm sorry. It was a big number.
You want me to
So the total bills to be paid, $1,748,874.23.
Do I have a second?
So
Second.
moved.
Any discussion? Not seeing any. Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Lucinski?
Yes?
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to once again thank you, Ms. Grafredo, for joining us on the council. The next Borough Council meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. Yes.
We're just going back to the public safety committee.
Yes. One second. Go ahead. Yes.
So the question was raised tonight with regard to the swastika
Right.
that appeared. It was suggested that we didn't make a public statement, which is
not accurate. This is the first meeting we had since that incident occurred. The incident occurred at another town that's being investigated by a police department. This council has taken very strong position, pro-Israel position. If you recall, back in October, right after October 7th occurred, we passed a resolution, and I know that you have, why don't you read it? More appropriate, I think, if you read it. You were on the council at the time. It was your idea.
All right, so the resolution was Resolution 23-304. Resolution condemning Hamas in support of Israel. Whereas on October 7th, 2023, during the sacred Jewish holidays of Hashemi Azert, Hamas terrorists had launched a coordinated, unprovoked attack on Israel from the Gaza Strip. And whereas Hamas has fired thousands of rockets towards Israel's major population centers, breached Israel's borders, infiltrated Israeli communities, and kidnapped civilians, killed more than 300 Israelis, and wounded hundreds more. And whereas this is the most significant attack on Israel since the Yom Kippur War, which was launched almost 50 years ago, one day, today, let me read that again, launched 50 years ago, one day to the day ago. Whereas Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that Israel was at war to defend itself and the citizens and gave the order to commence the Operation Swords of Iron. Now, therefore, that be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Oakland that the Borough of Oakland unequivocally condemns Hamas for its deplorable and unprovoked attacks on Israel. And this was passed October 11th, 2023.
And also, it is not appropriate. I mean, my experience in law enforcement as a lawyer, we can't comment on ongoing investigations. And of course, to the extent we're required to work with law enforcement, we always do for any crime, whether it's hate crime or any other type of crime that's committed. And it's a deplorable thing. The swastika is not a representation of civilization. And I hope they get to the bottom of it and find out who did it, whether they did it as a prank or not. It's a very serious thing they did, especially in light of what's occurred after October 7th. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Councilor. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Coming to the diner?